Today I'm going to talk about when you should use signals in your Angular application. So I think it's very important that we quickly just try to understand why this technology even came to be created. When we look at Angular, we've always had one way of changing Angular's internal state, and that was using change detection. So change detection would use a library called Zone.js, and the way it would work is when you would update something, so you click an event here, you would update something, Zone.js would then check every single component, and this can cause a lot of performance issues, and this can be very problematic if you have a huge code base. So the way we've dealt with this historically is that we've had the on push strategy, but on push can actually lead to problems, bugs in your code. But what on push would do is, if you put the on push strategy, essentially it would stop change detection from checking that component if the change wasn't related to that component. So what signals do is that if you change a specific part of your application, what signals will do is it will go to that specific part and only change that part, and that's why it's very powerful. Now, this is going to greatly increase the speed of your application without causing any bugs, because like I said before, Zone.js checks your entire application. In a huge code base, that's where I believe you would want to use signals, where you're seeing performance issues in your huge code base. You want to start introducing signals so you're not constantly checking each component with Zone.js when you do Angular's internal state system. Signals is not that great with state management tools, and if, let's say, I'm starting a project from scratch and it's going to be very small, the project is going to be a very small website, at that point you might as well just use Angular's internal state system, because the Zone.js checks aren't going to be that bad, but you can also use signals. It doesn't really matter what you use at that point. But as your application gets bigger, or if your application's already big, you want to start to use signals to start to improve the performance of the application. So a lot of people also believe that signals might be a replacement for observables, but they're not. Observables are different. We need observable when we're doing asynchronous workflows, so when we're getting data from an API or using a WebSocket. So that's when I believe you should use signals, when you want to improve the performance of your website, or you want to make your website simpler. Another aspect of using signals is that they're much easier to use. So I would that's my guide on signals and when you should use them. It's to improve the performance of your website or making the code a bit simpler to read. But anyways, thank you very much. Have a nice day.